Hello, everyone. Excited to be here today and share some awesome things with you. I'm going to share 6 tips to improve your LinkedIn profile. So maybe you can't afford or you don't really have a lot of time to reach out and get somebody who can provide you some LinkedIn profile support. If you do, I'm your girl. So let me know, drop a comment, send me a message, let me know. We can look at the full, we could do a done for you service or feedback and audit on your LinkedIn profile. I did want to share with you 6 tips to improve your LinkedIn profile today. So, if it's just you working on this, some things that you can look at and focus on your LinkedIn profile to really bring it up a little bit more and enhance it so that when people are clicking to look for you or to connect with you, that they're able to find you easily and that you're able to have that visibility to them as to who you are, what you do, and all of those great things. So, with that, I want to share let me actually pull up my screen here. And we are in LinkedIn right here. This is my profile. So the first tip I have for you is enhancing your profile banner. And that is the space right in here. So you'll see I use it, it's free advertising for me to bring people into my group and my community. So you can leverage that in numerous ways. And it's very easy to create something to put in here. And one of the things that you can do, and I'll pull up the screen here, is if you go to canva.com, canva.com, and you can sign up for a free a membership to Canva. If you sign up for an annual membership, you get to unlock a lot of great functionality within the tool, but it's definitely not necessary. So when you go into Canva and you select what you want to create, you can start to type in LinkedIn banner and it will pull up and let you choose this right here. So it does the dimensions that you need. It automatically fits to the dimensions that you need. And the nice thing here is when you click on design, unless it automatically comes up like it did for me, it automatically gives you all of these options that you can leverage. So you could put, say if you wanted to use this one and we just wanted to tweak some things on it. So maybe this picture really doesn't make sense. So we could delete that completely. Maybe you put your name here. One of the only things that you have to remember for Canva is that your profile picture, that circle on the left-hand side, is going to show up like right around here. So a little bit, maybe half of the circle. So be careful of any language that you put down there. This would probably be fine. You may have to test it and move it over a little bit. So you can replace, you can change the fonts, you can you can upload some pictures, you can add some different pictures. And so this space is really for you to be able to share. I wouldn't so much put a blank picture on there, but put some words in there to share who you are, what your area of expertise is, what your skills are, how you can help companies, how you can help individuals, whatever that might look like for you, leverage that space to do that here. So there are numerous different options that you can use. You can also look at the different types of, it gives you up here, like if you're marketing specific, it gives you a little bit more marketing. If you're more in technology, there's some opportunities there. You can type in some words to look up. You can also add other images, other things, and kind of stretch them, make sure that they look good. And then you would just share and download it as an image, probably a PNG or a JPEG, and be able to upload it into your LinkedIn profile and make sure it fits. You may have to change the sizing a little bit once you get it in the LinkedIn editor, but then you automatically have that. So when somebody comes to your profile, they know automatically about you and what you do, what you're good at, what you can offer before they even start reading anything under your name or even your name itself. So leverage that space the best that you can. The second thing that I would say is make sure that your profile picture, that you have a profile picture, that it's of you and specifically your face, so somebody can really put the face to the name and know who you are. It should be very clear and good lighting. You don't need a professional photographer. You could actually take your phone with your camera or your computer and take one of those go against a lighter background. Typically having the window in front of you with the light coming in is best, so that people can really see who you are, and be able to make that connection. So that's the second thing, the profile picture. The third thing I want to share with you is right underneath your name, there is the space for a tagline. So many people leverage this. They don't leverage it, basically. They let the system default and put their last known job role in there. You want to leverage this space and use that, kind of like we're using that profile banner. We're going to use this to make sure that if the only thing that somebody reads when they come here is they're going to see your banner, your picture, your name, and your tagline, that they want to keep reading or they want to reach out and connect with you. So you want to make sure that that's really focused. So you can see in here, I separate mine by that the mark in there that's typically under the backspace key. So think about how can you organize that based on your skills, based on where you want to go, what you want to do, and that you're touching on the things that you want to attract people to, and tweak that and change that. So that's basically you're just hitting the little pencil here on the right and being able to change that out there. So that is the third thing, is the tagline. The fourth thing is your about section. So if you scroll down, when somebody comes to your profile, if they scroll down and they're going to see your about section, what some individuals do is they give a laundry list of different things. It's almost like that question in an interview of tell me about yourself, and it's just like overwhelming. What I want to give to you, and I'll put it in the comments here shortly, is a more of a Mad Libs, so kind of a fill in. So at first glance, you can really take that Mad Libs fill in, tweak it to what makes sense for you within the sections to fill it in, and use that as your about section to get started. And then you can tweak that over time and make sure that that tells the person, again, if they only get this far in your LinkedIn summary, they're intrigued, they're interested, they want to connect with you, they want to reach out and talk with you. So that is number 4. So we had the LinkedIn banner, the profile picture, the tagline, the about section. Number 5 is making sure that your career experience is updated. You may not have all of the information or all of the bullet points of your responsibilities. I would push you to try to get those in there, but I know that can be a lot. I would say at least for the last 5 to 10 years, if you're able to have more of that detailed information in there, that is fantastic. If you could only do the last 1 or 2 roles to get you started, that is a plus. So make sure that you have your dates in there, that you have the name of the company, that you have your title in there, so people can kind of start to see that history of where you've been, where you are, and make that connection with you. And then the last thing, or our sixth thing, is recommendations. And these are severely underused, in my opinion, when I look at individuals' LinkedIn profiles. So if you scroll farther to the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, you'll see recommendations. And so you may have received some, and there's also the tab for given and who you've given recommendations. So what you can actually do is you can use the little plus sign here and you can ask for a recommendation. And when you ask for a recommendation, it asks you who you want to get the recommendation from. The next screen will actually ask you, like, how are you connected to them? Which of the roles from your experience? So that's important to have those, at least those header, those roles specific, maybe not all the bullet points in them. But then you can connect, okay, I worked with this person in that role, and you can ask them for the recommendation. What happens with recommendations, because I know people are a little scared of this too, is if somebody gives you a recommendation and you're like, oh, I don't necessarily like the wording of that, or it wasn't the recommendation you were expecting, you actually receive a request to approve the recommendation once somebody submits it. So you have to hit that button to approve it for it to even show up on your profile. So don't be worried about that. You'll have that option to approve it. If you're not really liking it, maybe you go back to the person, or maybe you just don't show it on your profile at all. That's completely up to you. But the really nice thing about having recommendations on your profile versus having to create a separate document with references, and sometimes job applications, you still have to go through the application system and fill out who your references are, is that these live in your profile. And so you're not going to have to reach out to somebody every single time. You could talk to the recruiter, the hiring manager, or anybody could really come to your profile and see all of these recommendations. And what you typically want to do is make sure that you have recommendations trying to do for each role that you've had. So that may involve going back to some people. What I would recommend is you go out at least to your last role and your current role if you're comfortable with that, and request recommendations so that they can put that on there. And again, that lives on your profile and you really don't have to worry about that. You can draw people, whether it's a recruiter or a hiring manager, or if you're applying for a nonprofit or a board or something like that, they can automatically see those recommendations on your profile, and that makes it so easy for you. So those are my 6 tips. I'll go back through them. So the first thing that we had was your LinkedIn banner, and I gave you canva.com is you can sign up for free to go in there and update it. Your profile picture, making sure you have a good, clear profile picture. Yes, it would be awesome if you could do a professional photographer to get those. Maybe that's a goal down the road. You can definitely do that yourself and find some tips, especially having that light and having your face right there so people can make that connection is good, and making sure it's professional. The third one I talked about is the tagline. So not letting it default to your current job or the last role that you had, but really providing clarification in what you do, who you help, what your skills are, and thinking about how do you summarize that in the characters that you have there to attract the individuals that you want to attract. Your about section is another one. And when I'm done here, I'll drop in the comments and give you that Mad Libs, at least to get you started until you beef up and put something more in there. We don't want that to go on for too long. We want it to be succinct enough, but also give enough information and invite people in to connect with you. The next one was your career, your professional experience. So making sure that you're putting the title, the company, the years that you were with that company, and you can even do to present for the ones that you're in now, the roles that you're in now. So putting that in there. And then if you can, for the last 1 or 2 roles that you've had, start to work on those bullet points, and or if you put a paragraph or a couple sentences under the role to give more insight into the roles and responsibilities that you had within that specific job. And then the last one is leveraging recommendations and using those to your advantage. So you can ask for recommendations, you can give recommendations to other people, which I highly recommend. And especially for if anyone has been laid off, or you know someone who has been laid off, please, please, please go to the LinkedIn profiles for those individuals. Or if you have been laid off and somebody's like, I'm so sorry, like I wish I could do something, or if I can help you, let me know. The first thing that I was able to do was say, hey, can you actually give me a recommendation? Because that's going to help me as I go forward and what I decide to do from there. So, and you can absolutely go to somebody's LinkedIn profile and you could click to give them a recommendation, and yes, it will ask them to approve it before it posts to their profile. So those are 6 tips to really shape up and enhance your LinkedIn profile without having to hire a professional. So if you have any questions, drop them below in the comments, let me know. If you are interested in working on your LinkedIn profile, I do have a masterclass available. I also have a checklist. I have full service options available. So just send me a message and let me know. Happy to help you however I can. But these are some quick tips to get you started. Have a great day.